What kind of mic are you guys working with for vocals?
So we work a bunch of different mics. Like for this one over here, for like quick demo stuff, we do the SE, was it X1 Pro? And then in the main studio, which one? What do we have in the main studio? I don't remember. To be honest with you,
it's I don't know.
Oh, okay, he doesn't know. Sorry, we're not gonna remember that one. But a bunch of different mics.
No, it's nice. It's the best mic we got.
The answer I expected from you.
Yeah, it's like it's good mic. I mean. But more so than the mic, you know, we use a boatload of preamps, we use a boatload of VSTs and plugins to make sure when it comes in sounding very crispy, warm environments like that. So,
speaking of VSTs, are you guys, when it comes to effects, pretty tied to waves, or do you have some other things?
I mean, the thing about VSTs and plugins, you could get plugins to your blue in the face. Like, there's always going to be the next, oh man, I got the Waves Mercury, but yo, I got that platinum. And the next two got the platinum, he got. So, it's really about having go-to, it's almost like a DJ. There are certain records that you know are going to create a certain mood. Not to say you always go to it, but at least you know you can go there and tweak the sound as you need. So yeah, Waves for sure, that's how, when we first started using Pro Tools, that was clearly our go-to. But Logic opened up the whole scene where the stock plugins were good and gave you some great ideas of where to go. And some of those joints are so straight to the point, why go to something even more complex? Of course you're trying to mirror real hardware that they used to use back in the day, but you can't always do that. Sometimes you just want it to sound like T-Minus's joint. I just want the echo on that one little boop. Oh, I know he did it just like this. Really quick. Not to say you just jack it, but we all get inspiration of how things should sound from other things, obviously.
How often do you guys work with live musicians?
Often. Like, we used to know what it was like to not be able to find sounds. So what we always had to do was find cats in college. They would have a keg. They'd be out there playing the guitar on the porch. They'd be like, "Ooh, you're nice. Yo, what's going on with you, dog? What you do?
Yeah,
I do music. Oh, really? You do? Word. Well, you know, I got this NBC in my backpack." We start recording right then and there.
Yeah.
So early on, we knew that musicians were going to be the way. Like we play, but we can't play. Like we'll be straight up honest with you. We'll peck around and find what we need to play for a demo, but then we can also give that idea to someone else. Or when we're making from scratch, we'll have musicians in the set. Or as you build, then you realize, you know, that bass is good. But not always, we love live bass. There's nothing like live bass. Even when you got the 808s and shit and you got live kicks, live bass always brings a certain mood to a record that nothing else can do.
Soul, baby.
So live bass, we sometimes use live drums. I mean, we still use all kinds of things for atmosphere, shakers and stuff. Guitarists are always on deck. Keyboard players, like people who can really play keys, like who gig all the time, and who, when I can tell them an idea, they can flip it up. Shout to Jay Baker, shout to Calvin Thorborn, shout to numerous other people who really help us out on that end. But yeah, but that's all. Sidebar. That's always an interesting part about producing. One, it's not cheap, and two, you're dealing with musicians. Dealing with musicians and being creative is tough to put on a time schedule. So
he's letting some stuff out.
I'm not gonna rant. It's not rant. It's not rant. If you do music, you know what musicians and artists are really like. Like for real. Like they work on their own time frame. You know, sometimes you can get them, sometimes you cannot get them. So while you as a producer have a deadline, or you know, I have a connection with said artist who wants this record. If I had them to do this, I would have it to them in a week. But because I have to deal with him, I may not be able to use him, or I have to use him and have to wait. So the musician thing is also very tricky, but in the end, it's always the most rewarding. Those are the best tracks we have.